Hey everyone, this is Elizabeth Eleanor and
Nicolette Jane.
I got to do the right thing.
And this is Spiritual Bites number 3. Is it
Yeah.
the third one?
Fourth one. I think we did two. We did two.
Past lives.
Past lives, and
Fourth
then
one.
So this is number 4. How you going?
I'm good. I'm excited about today's topic because it's so relevant for me right now.
Yeah, we just had a conversation, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
If anyone's watching live, we would love for you to click on the chat link that we just put in so that you can we can see your beautiful faces and know that who's saying hello to us and all that jazz. We did come on a little bit late, so hopefully everyone but that's just the way we roll, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all divine timing, right?
Yeah. So we're talking about validation, right?
Yeah. And the first thing that pops into my head when I think about my own journey with validation is, hi Marianne, is the validation that we all get from constantly being on social media, and especially as business owners, because we're posting all the time, that the likes and the comments and the messages and the instant, well, even not on social media, even text messages as well, that instant gratification, validation that you get when you get those things back from anything that you put out.
Yeah. As you say that, I'm going to Google the meaning of validation.
Oh, cool.
Which I was going to do before I
because we had some other words we were bandying around, like acknowledgement and
yeah, because that's where I wanted to go. Hey Marianne, I didn't get to say hi before. I was listening to Nicolette. So the difference between validation and acknowledgement for me, but let's do the dictionary term. The validation is the action of checking or approving the validity or accuracy of something, like yourself, right? Feeling validated by somebody else. Recognition or affirmation that a person or their feelings or opinions are valid or worthwhile. Now,
so it's directly attached to worthiness.
Yes.
So if we don't get validated, we feel unworthy of.
Yeah. And yet, let's see what acknowledgement is. Acceptance of the truth or existence of something. Recognition of the importance or quality of something.
Recognition, that's the other word. Yeah. we could Google all day.
Yeah, that's right. So we had something come up just in a conversation we were having outside of here. And good morning, Jackie. Good morning, Marianne. And we were, there's a difference between validation and acknowledgement. And it's a really interesting thing from this is just my opinion, from a spiritual point of view. I know that I've had people, what's the word? I've had people sort of go, when I've heard people say, when you're spiritual, you don't need, you shouldn't need acknowledgement or validation, right?
We should just be in the oneness and
connection. Yeah, that's right. And there's, in my opinion, validation is when you're not feeling whole within yourself, right? You need something outside of yourself to validate you and where you're at. So there's a powerless energy to validation.
Yes.
Acknowledgement though is from an energetic point of view, it's not getting something, not feeding something of yourself. It's a wholeness still. However, it's part of being in life. We are not a friggin' rock on an island, like we're not an island, or whatever they say.
And what comes up for me when you say that, when I quite often talk about acknowledging the negative happenings in the world and in your life, but not focusing on them. So you can acknowledge it and then move your focus. Whereas I think with validation, it's like I can't just acknowledge this and move on. I need to be validated.
I need to feel safe. I feel unsafe.
Yeah. So it's a much more heavy energy exchange.
Yeah. Well, from my own feeling, if there's validation, my energy goes in, and I need energy from outside of me. So I do the 3 powers, right? So power and powerless. Validation is feeling powerless, needing something external to myself to feel more power.
Yeah.
Whereas acknowledgement, like I really think acknowledgement is just an edification, a clarity of someone, an acceptance of somebody else, and an acknowledgement. Because I had to look at this when I was bringing up my kids, as they turn into young adults, and go through that, they're not around as much, and they're, and maybe not thanking me when I, would like them to.
Yep.
And I had to, I'm a Virgo, right? So I process really deeply, and so one of the things that I find, like, okay, am I needing validation here? Or do I just want to be acknowledged as a human being that's just done something nice for somebody else? And so when I went, actually, it's acknowledgement. And I think that regardless of how spiritual you are, I think acknowledgement is just part of the ebb and flow of being in duality. Like, it doesn't mean that I'm not whole already. It's just a recognition of somebody's who they are, an edification.
Their journey.
Yeah. And so I had a word to my kids and said, like, the lioness mother is going to have a problem here. And if you're treating me like this, then, how are you treating other people, and if you're treating me like this and you treat others better, why? Have a look at why that is the case, and so it changed things for them and the relationship, but yeah, go.
I also wanted to talk about I consider myself an exhibitionist, right? So and I've let that part of myself be free and expressive in the last probably 5 years. And part of being an exhibitionist is validation, right? Or at least acknowledgement. If you don't get either of those things, it sort of falls flat. And I like to be, I like to exhibit my artwork. I like to exhibit my body. I like to exhibit whatever.
Your expression.
My expression.
Your creative expression, yeah.
So the danger is if my ego is attached to the validation that I get when I exhibit, then if I'm not getting what I'm expecting, then I fall into the shadow or the that unworthiness.
Yeah. And that's the conversation we were having, right, last week, that made us think to have this.
Yeah, so I want to draw, like, because I feel like you have a lot more wisdom in this. I'm going through it right now, so I'm getting emotional as I say that. And I feel like you have a lot of wisdom in this area to help people who are trying to be fully expressive, but they don't want to end up feeling unworthy or, seeking validation all the time. Like I want to be fully expressive without the expectation, like just to be expressive. And sometimes I achieve that, and other times it's like crash and burn.
Yeah. And so one, like, just the acknowledgement of that is great, right? Because it shows there's a little bit more to tweak, within your self-love and your self-expression and your internal guidance and like all of those things. And so acknowledgement, if it's sometimes it's acknowledgement, sometimes it's the need for validation. And so in my thing is, and I think I've said this a number of times before, any internal process like this, 80% of it, I reckon, is the acknowledgement or understanding of it, right?
Yeah.
So
I find verbalizing it helps me process it. Like, that's how I process things is I verbalize it, and then it's able to be, I don't know, that it's able to sort itself out in a different way within.
Well, yours is verbal processing, right? And so, different people have different ways of processing. I internalize and then I verbalize. So I internalize first. I go within. I'm doing Helen's on here.
Hi, Helen.
I'm doing, and you are too. We're both doing Helen's blueprint course. I don't know if we're allowed to say the word, the other word, but this morning I was going through some of the things, and I was the videos, and one of the things that came up was how do you sabotage, and so when, like, I withdraw my energy and I go internal so that I can process. So I need time out so that I can process what's going on for me. And then I can express it.
For some reason, I attract friends that are introverts, and I'm an extrovert.
That's funny. Yeah, well, we're all different processes, right? That's actually the definition of introvert and extrovert is introverts tend to process internally, extroverts need to express it externally, like process it with other people. So if, I would say that when you're going through a process and you feel that trigger or you feel that
unworthiness,
like that, then,
and it happens throughout. I don't know if anyone else listening and watching feels this, but it happens throughout my entire body. Like, it's like my body goes into this weird heaviness. It's a trigger, right? And you were saying this morning that was that's your part personality.
Yeah.
In what you
yeah. Well, it's the trigger happens, and then because you were saying, and I can't do this, and I know, and I'm trying to work out, like I can't get out of it. And I was saying that's because once the trigger happens, the part personality takes over. The feeling the inner child or the whatever part of the part personality it is, whether it's the victim, whether it's the wounded, like there's all these different aspects, right? And so whoever it is taken over, and when they're taken over, the main personality just can't get back in, right? So this part,
and I actually start talking to myself. I can actually start like, you're not going to die. This is going to pass. This shall pass.
Actually, you know what a really good process would be? I know that you can jump in and do recoding, right? So you're part of the conscious creator. You can jump in and do recoding. However, another thing you could do is have a conversation with that, that part of you that's triggered, is now taken over, and journaling, and actually say, okay, I want you to know, like, talk to it as a separate part. I want you to know that no one's dying, no one's going to stop existing. Let's sort this out. Why are you being triggered? What's going on for you? And get that part of your personality to say, well, this is how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
Okay, why? What happened prior to this? What was the first time you felt this?
I do a process called the 7 whens with my clients, which is like, when did you last feel like this? When before that? When before that? When before that? And it goes back to the original cause of it. I just wanted to give an example of something that's coming up for me in the coming weeks as an example of validation and acknowledgement, and ask your opinion on it. So I've just started. Did I tell you I've just started pole dancing?
I saw it. I
Yeah,
saw
you're
it
going
on
to see
your
it.
Facebook. I actually watched. I'm like, holy crap, you can do well from one. Is that your first time?
I've had 2 classes.
Yeah, right.
Um,
You stayed on the pole pretty well, I reckon, because I know it's pretty
it
hard.
is really hard. Anyway, there's 8 classes there's 8 weeks of classes, and on the 8th week, we as a class we present a routine. So I'm doing pole for me, right? Because it makes me feel like the class, even though it's really difficult, it makes me feel really empowered as a woman. It's strengthening my body, and I just feel great.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm thinking about that 8th class and presenting it to people, and we can invite people that we love. Because of COVID, it can only be a couple of people. But I was thinking to myself, what if I invite these key people that I'm so excited to share this with, and one of them doesn't come, or I don't get the response that I'm seeking, so I'm interested in your thought. It's okay to want to show off to people, right?
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. If that's your thing, own it. Own it. And so,
and then I get fearful that by that owning stuff like that is going to lead to too much attachment to ego, or that feeding ego, right? And a crash and burn.
Yeah. And so I'd love to get the opinion of the people that are on watching. We've got a few people.
I'm being super vulnerable here, guys.
Yeah. I'd love for everyone to get, like, have you been in a place where you've wanted an end result, like something, there's a choice that you want to create, and but you're concerned that it's not going to happen, right? When has there, like, isn't that
you're wanting to be validated in something?
Yeah. So okay. Now remember, everything is energy.
Yeah.
Right. And so as we talk in Conscious Creator, you want to make a choice. What's the desired end result? See yourself in the desired end result. So you're in class 8.
Yep.
You've got this amazing
routine. I'm nailing all the moves. I'm feeling amazing.
You're looking really sexy. You've got, what are you wearing? Like, do you have to put different clothes on?
Something with sparkles, I reckon.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd be looking at starting to get the costume together. This is going to be fun for you, right?
Yeah. So the other thing that comes into is that the people that I love that I've invited to watch me, I see the looks on their faces, and they're like astounded at what I can do, and they're smiling back at me.
Yeah.
So the fear comes in when it's like, oh, what if they don't show up? Or what if, I don't even know. It's like, it sits here.
Yeah. I just want to throw this one on. Mandy has just said, as an extrovert, I agree. And it is just ego or lifting your vibes with acknowledgement. Yeah. Jackie put before, totally relate, an introvert that attracts extroverts. So, the whole thing is that you want to choose your end result, right?
Yep.
And then see it, have fun with it, like sparkly outfit, how your routine's going to go. You might not know the end result of the routine yet, but you can see different aspects of it. And then, as you just said, you've got the people that you've decided to invite. Obviously, they're the ones that are deeply heart-centered. You love, you appreciate, you want to share this part of who you are with them, right? So see them acknowledging that and seeing your beauty and your talent and your skills, and how amazing you are. And so when something comes up, then you want to go into your current reality, right? What is it that's causing that to sabotage that choice?
To have the choice to have that experience.
Yeah. What is, like you just said, what if they don't show up?
Mm.
So that's your current reality where you go into a fear, right? Or a, that's the validation.
Yeah.
In the desired end result is acknowledgement. Can you feel the difference? Like in that.
So in the desired end result, there's acknowledgement,
they're
but
all acknowledging
fear,
you.
in the fear, there's a seeking for validation, and then yeah.
Can you feel the difference? Just feel into those.
Yeah.
So the desired end result is being acknowledged, and it feels fulfilling, I'm assuming.
Mm.
It feels good, right?
Yeah.
And then the current reality, the fear comes up.
Yeah.
And so that's the needing validation external to yourself. Because
then the other thing that comes up, what if they show up but they look bored?
So again, validation. because when you're, when you're performing, you want to be performing. This is a key. When you're performing, you want to be performing for you.
Yes.
You want to be performing because you've enjoyed making up that outfit. You've
Yeah.
enjoyed creating that routine. You've enjoyed putting the strength into your body and how it feels to be on the pole. You've enjoyed the opportunity to be the exhibitionist and expressive, creative soul that you are. And you're enjoying it for you. And what they do, because you've invited them, regardless of what they're doing, is none of your business.
Yeah.
And technically, if you invited them, they're the beautiful souls that you tend to attract.
Yeah.
And I doubt any of them will be not turning up or
looking bored.
Or looking bored.
Yeah, that's true.
Because they'll know that this is important to you, and you want to share that part of who you are with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And similarly, when I model for life drawing, when I'm actually doing the poses, I go into like a meditative state, and it's awesome. Like I do it for me. I do the poses and all that for me. And then when we go to break time and I walk around the room and see the artists' drawings of me, that's when I get the acknowledgement / validation.
Yeah.
The acknowledgement, it's like in that instance, the acknowledgement is seeing the drawings that, oh yeah, that's what I looked like up there. I'm like, that's, and then the validation comes when people say to me, that was an incredible pose, or whatever. But I don't
actually feel that moment. Can you feel that? Because you're an energetic healer too, right?
Yeah.
So can you feel that moment? So imagine yourself, you're standing behind someone, they're drawing, and you're acknowledging that this is their perception of you in that pose. And then
we're acknowledging each other in that.
Yes.
In that, it's not just them acknowledging. It's me acknowledging them as an artist, and them acknowledging me as a model.
Yeah.
In that
that's awesome. Yeah. And so then when they say that was amazing or whatever they say, can you feel that, like, even if it's subtle, because you're you're a beautiful woman and you're in that process of shifting yourself, can you feel that slight puff up of ego?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It feels great.
And so in that moment, that's a really good acknowledgement to go, okay, because it does feel good, but acknowledgement is, humility comes in at that stage too, when you can just be in a place where you're okay with yourself, and you just see someone acknowledging and expressing it to you. Oh, that's a
What
really hard
causes?
one to
What
explain
causes?
mentally.
Yeah, like I know, and I know this. I know if you can be in a place where you're just, what did Mandy say? Deeply acknowledge yourself. Yeah, that's like, yeah, I get that, and I
Yeah,
know that, and we
yeah.
all know that. But when we're in the neediness, it's very difficult to acknowledge ourselves. Or when we're in, yeah. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
So I just wanted to share. Helen has put, thank you, Helen and Mandy and a couple of others. We can actually see who you are. It's lovely to be able to acknowledge you while we're on here and that you've registered. So honored to know you both. What a wonderful exploration of validation and acknowledgement. There is pain in not receiving validation and can feel such a letdown.
Mm.
Yeah, and that's where it's it's an external source. That's when you're in the duality of power and powerless instead of in empowerment where you're not needing that validation. But one of the things that I just wanted to share, and I've because I was just acknowledging everyone, I missed what you just said. But one of the things that I was wanting to share was when in that moment when and I can only express through energy, like you understand, and I'm sure that everyone will understand. If someone says, oh, that was an amazing photo, like a shoot, what do they call it? That was an amazing
Pose.
pose. Um, that was an amazing pose. When you are in a place of empowerment, then you're not, that energy comes to you. And when you're in validation, you suck it in and
Yeah,
your ego puffs up, right?
yeah.
But when you're in a place of someone acknowledging you, the same words, right? They're acknowledging you. When you're in an empowered place, you can you energetically you can have that energy come towards you, and it melds into you together, both you and the other person,
I feel like
and you
it's a
smile
knowledge.
together.
And what comes into my mind as you were speaking is when I do healing sessions and people say to me at the end of the healing session, that was incredible. I've been holding on to that for years, massive shift. I feel amazing. I always receive that with, yeah, I know. I don't say that to them, but
Yeah.
that's because I already know that they've had that experience because we're so energetically connected. And I already know going into the session there's that confidence that I have going into the session, what I can achieve for somebody. Yeah, so I feel like that's just an acknowledgement of what I already know. Whereas when you don't know it, when you're doubting it, you need the validation. So, which is probably why I'm nervous about pole, because I don't know if I can own it. I don't know if I can do all the moves. I don't know if I can. I'm not at that state of confidence yet with it.
Okay. Oh my gosh, there's so much, and
I know.
we're just
Go
going
over. Let's just go over.
Yeah, so I just wanted to say a few things about that, and I know we're going over, everyone. Hopefully, you're okay with it because we're going to do it anyway.
Yeah, let's do it. And watch the replay if you have to go.
Yeah, one of the things, the first thing you said about being spiritual, right? Healing is you feel you're aware, you're already filled up with spirit, with the energy of your empowered being, right?
Yeah.
Which is who you are, and there's the dichotomy of that, because that spiritual energy, that empowered energy, is your higher self. It's your connection to source. Blah 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 blah. And so there's the individual you, and you're filled up with it, right? So
Yes.
you're the tool or the outlet for that energy to come through, because it's not you healing, right? You're just the
conduit.
Yeah, the conduit. And so in that place, when you say, yes, I know, you're acknowledging that this is, you know, yes, I felt that, I know that, I feel really strong and confident in that healing, because this is what I do. Like, this is who I am. I am a conduit for source energy, and I've just got that covered. Right?
Yep.
Yeah. Now, when you're pole dancing, why do you go into your individual self? Why do you not still connect with your higher self, your source energy, the part of you that's empowered?
Because it hurts.
No, learning something new.
Yeah.
And just having it as an experience, not whether it's good or bad.
Yeah.
I'm just having fun. I'm just
not whether it's going to be validated or not.
Yeah, I'm just enjoying something that is new to me, and I'm going to F it up maybe, but that's going to be fun too.
I'm going to own that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just said to my team, right, as you know, we've got someone helping us with something, which is actually your VA. Thank you, Nicolette.
You're welcome. She's amazing.
Yeah, and so on the weekend, I needed to do an email sequence in Google Drive, right? Now, normally Irene would put the new tab in for me and set it all up, and I would just put the words in. Well, I actually put the tab in. I even changed the color of the tab, and I put all the details in. And it was like, and I just said to the girls this morning, guess what? I did this, blah, blah, blah. You know, I worked out how to do it, you know, like, and because I'm okay with not knowing how to do it, I don't have a problem with the fact that it was new to me. And it's a simple freaking thing, right? I worked it out, but I didn't feel like I needed validation or even acknowledgement. It was just exciting that I had, you know, done a new thing and that it worked out well for me, you know. And one of the things that, you know, when you get to a place of empowerment, you're totally okay with effing things up as well.
I just want to go over what you just said. So you were just excited to share that. You didn't need validation because you were in that place of, and when they said to you, that's great, you were like, I know, because you're already.
Yeah. And you know, and even if they didn't, I was already in the joy of it anyway. So I didn't care. If they all just went like this, then it wouldn't have mattered because I was already in the joy of it already. I was chuffed with myself, you know, like that I'd learnt this new thing, you know, and it didn't matter whether they validated me or acknowledged me or not. They all thought that, I mean, Mel just looked at me and smiled because she's like, who is this crazy woman?
She doesn't know you well enough yet.
Get used to me. We better get going because let me just show what Mandy's just put here. This has been amazing. Thank you both. I love doing videos and seek and accept validation.
I can't see that on the screen. I don't know why.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, hopefully that.
I love doing videos and seek and expect acknowledgement and validation. Awesome. Now it's something for you to look at, right, Mandy, when, you know, is it validation? Why do you need validation? Is it acknowledgement? And someone here, my heart is filled when I am not there. It is the connection with others when self as others and beings connect. I don't quite understand that.
No.
And I don't know who that is to ask them.
Ask.
Yeah. We will just thank you for commenting though. It's been beautiful. Thank you everyone for commenting. Really quickly, Nicolette.
Really quickly, I have a body and soul harmonization session on Thursday night, which we'll put the link in the comments for. So this is a full chakra clearing. I use a pendulum to clear each person's chakras individually, and we do card readings with my oracle cards. As you can see, I'm an artist. And I have 3 decks, going to be 4 decks of Oracle cards soon.
That's one of them.
For the end of the year. And I'd love to see you there. Helen says it's so awesome to be acknowledged by you both. Love to you both. Love to you too.
That's so cool. Oh, it was Tam. Tam that was that said, my heart is filled when I am not there. My heart is filled when I am not there. It is the connection with others when self as others and beings connect. You have to explain that next time for us, Tam. I don't quite understand it. Wait a minute. I as identities, being to being energy. Yes, totally true. The joy of not requiring anything in the moment. Absolutely.
Not feeling any disconnection.
Yeah.
That is.
Just being full and yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, Elizabeth, what have you got coming up?
What have I got coming up? That's really interesting to ask. I'm not 100% sure. I have this Thursday, I've got an essential oil class on, which is the first time I've done one public for a long, long time. I just think that where we're at the moment in with the craziness in the world and all that sort of stuff, I'm doing an essential oil class on emotions, frequency, and energy. And if you're interested, we will put the landing page in.
What time is that on Thursday?
I think it's on at 7 o'clock. Don't quote me though. It might be 6:30. I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
But you can come to that. And I'll put the link in the bottom there.
My session is 6 till 7:30. So hopefully I can catch the tail end of yours. So I want to know. Yeah. I want to know more about my oils.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm just going to show.
I've got release going at the moment because I'm releasing this need for validation.
Yes. That's the other thing is being aware of it when it's happening and breathing out through your tailbone, right? And releasing. But talk to that part of yourself and ask what's going on. Jackie's just put here, ideal world will get love. And then because Jackie is in New Zealand, she's put some beautiful words in her native tongue.
Maori language.
Yeah, all the time, all the time, all places. Yeah, that's so beautiful. I love that.
That just filled me with the beautiful, calm energy.
Yeah.
Saying that.
Yeah. I love different languages. English, when it's your first language, I think I think that especially native Islander languages have got such a beautiful
energy.
Take care, everyone. Love to you all. Thank you so much for jumping on and staying on, even though we're 10 minutes over.
We couldn't help it today. Sorry.
Yeah, it was a really good topic. Hey,
it was awesome.
Yeah. And I don't know what we're talking about. We'll see what happens through the week and we'll talk about it next week. Take care, everyone.
Bye.
See ya.